I'll go into questions that are going to career paths. So this section I put together, this is the first time I'm doing this section, which is most of the time kids only hear about computer science or Tesla or working at Facebook and stuff like that. I wanted to give some more details here, especially details about liberal arts careers, which are very important to consider when you put together your application. So I'll talk about some career options for STEM and for liberal arts both, because when Shreya used to come to me and ask me questions about chemistry or about physics, I honestly didn't even have answers what those career options are. When she would say biology, I could think about doctor. I didn't think about anything beyond that. So the goal here is really, for you to be able to wonder. You are in the 9th grade, 10th grade. You have the luxury to be able to view or to think. Okay, as you start planning your career, kids, dream big. One of Shreya's friends, her closest friend, dreams of becoming an astronaut. Every time I try to make fun of it, she doesn't like it because she believes in it. She believes in actually becoming an astronaut. So, take your dreams seriously, dream big, take risks. It's okay to fail. Your chance to fail is now. Don't fail at my age. Okay, but fail as much as you can now, because you can make things happen now. This is the time to be creative. Make it happen. There are 4 kinds of college degrees you will look at. Okay, the associate degree, which is a AA degree, what you hear about in community colleges. You'll hear about the bachelor's degree, which is what you will be going for, what's called as the undergraduate degree. Within a bachelor's degree, you have Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Applied Sciences. Now, this purview of today is not really to go into many of those details, but I prod you to think about this thing, right? You don't want to just think about just Bachelor of Science. Don't be just boring. Okay, try to think about things beyond just one. You might still do a major in computer science. You might still do a minor in a science career, which is great to do, but think about many other things as well. I see how Shreya is blossoming in her career. She's doing computer science, but she's also thinking about so many things about psychology. I think sending her to a liberal arts schools to do a computer science education was the best thing we could do. In fact, all the Ivy schools that you look at, the Ivy League, Harvard and Stanford, the reason they are Ivies are because they are balanced schools. They have great liberal arts and they have great science studies. They just don't make you a nerd. They make you a holistic person. Okay. After that is the master's degree. You can do a master's in arts, master's in science, an MBA, or you can go and do a master's in fine arts. Then, of course, you can go on to do a doctorate. What I found interesting was at Harvard, some of the major populars are not what you would think. The major populars are economics, political science. And you think of it, Harvard produces some of the biggest and the best CEOs of the world. Why do you think they go to do psychology and history, political science? That's really where the creative juices come out of these people. Okay. And this is data from Harvard, not from, I haven't created this information. Ask yourself, what do you enjoy? Really, what kind of a person are you? What do you really like to learn? Forget the minutiae, forget what people tell you around you, forget what your friends talk about. Everybody in some way is just a puppet. And I was too in my time, right? In my career. I never really questioned those things. At our time, there were only arts, commerce, or science in India when I was growing up. You have the opportunity in the world you are in today, how COVID has changed the world completely, how the internet has changed things up and down, right? Traditional careers are not what they will be. What do you really enjoy? Be passionate. It's okay to be not passionate about something. It's okay to say, okay, at some time I will build some passion about it, but know what you enjoy. If you like drawing, then talk about it. Be vocal about what you like. These are some of your school subjects, and I've tried to link some of the latest slides to your school subjects. You have music, science, arithmetic, chemistry, biology. I'll try to link some of the careers to these things for you. Okay. I have quite a, can everybody hear me? Am I just talking to myself?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So.
Yeah, Harpal, you're loud and clear, bro.
Thanks, RC. Okay, all right.
Doing great, Harpal.
Thanks. So this is some survey I found, right, which is an area you want to pay attention as much as your career aspirations to do anything, right? You can do any of these things, what you're doing. But if you look at some career aspirations that people had in the past and what they did, regrets of a third of the people, and this data comes from YouGov, right? It's a government thing, something. It's a .com, but it's something with government. 31% of the people regret the fact that they were not good at math. Trust me, one of the reasons I did really well in my career, I used to be horrible at English, everything else, but my math was always kick-ass. Okay, somehow something about math just makes you sizzle in life. If you do well at math, somehow everything else starts becoming easier, and the vice versa is also very true. So if you're not good at math, find a private tutor. Go to Wyzant. There are all these websites which will give you private tutors at $25 an hour. Somebody who will do one-on-one work with you. But get your math together. Foreign language is a super important skill. This is, in fact, most of the good schools are looking for making sure you've actually taken 4 years of foreign language. So if you're taking French, Spanish, or any of the languages, make sure you go all 4 years. The good schools all want 4 years of language. Our counselor dug this into our heads. We had to do it. She was like, she wouldn't budge on this. She was like, you have to do all 4 years of Spanish or whatever. Shreya took Spanish. Dia's doing French, my younger one. So anyway, but this is just a point of view to show you what people regretted. Let's talk about STEM careers: science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm sure everybody's parent is pushing them into just saying, make sure you do science, technology. Think of that biology careers can take you chemistry and physics, right? I mean, when we think of computer science, it is a field of physics in a way, but even physics can take you into engineering. It can take you into, computer science. It can take you into energy, utilities, construction, there's civil engineering, there's science research paths. From
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Bacha, you made it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So why don't I stop my stuff and have you, if you
Okay.
can, thank you, okay?
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Bacha. Okay. So we were talking about the STEM careers. Any questions before I keep going, or be good? Okay, all right, I will keep going. So STEM careers, I was talking that, I actually, when I was working with Shreya, I actually didn't even know what careers chemistry could provide, right? I knew basic chemical engineering. I knew a little bit about pharmacologist, but, you can actually go into nursing, you can go into quality control, food scientist. Just the market of STEM itself is much bigger than what most people think it is. Like, this chemical engineer is going on to become a petroleum engineer. Somebody is becoming a geochemist. So there are a lot of career options. In fact, I met like a forensic scientist. I met somebody about a couple of years ago whose son was doing chemical engineering at UCLA. And he was like, he convinced me in less than 10 minutes. I mean, I still forgot everything he spoke, but his point was chemical engineering is the most widely used or the most prime engineering form you should be a part of, because you will have a career forever. And of course, this guy is a Wharton MBA himself, a computer science graduate, but his kid went on to do chemical engineering, and he was like, how clear he was about it. So I'm amazed at some parents who are so clear about these things for their kids, and I didn't do that good a job, but I'm trying to help some of you guys make better calls. Career from mathematics. Remember I talked about math, that, make sure your math is good. See how many things it opens you up for. And all these careers, honestly, in my humble opinion, because of math and because CS, what I'm doing, my job is not very hard. I mean, I think I'll have a career for the rest of my life. And initially I hated CS and computer science and stuff, but man, money is great and work is not too much. It's amazing. Banking, computing, you can become a math teacher, for God's sake, so math has some great careers to get into. Kind of problems that engineers solve. This was always a question I always was wondering, what kind of problems do people solve? And some of these I'll create blog articles on these. Again, I'm also leaving these videos open for a little longer time, so you can just freeze it. And of course, the video will be available on the blog, so you can just take a screenshot at that time. But you could just looking at this, still biomedical engineers, you could go in engineering, you could still be a part of biotech. Aerospace engineers, right? This is fun stuff. I mean, aerospace engineers will not be just making airplanes anymore. They'll be making drones and flying cars at some point. So some important stuff. Mechanical engineers go in to make robots. So this is, when people say I'm not even a mechanical engineer, don't discount it. Turbines are going to be a huge part of the world right now. Or it's just, as you can see the trends. So the very fact that you can see like a few names over here of the careers you can get into should open up your minds to, what possibilities are there for engineers. You don't have to be just doing computer science. My mother is in literature. So now I'm going into the liberal arts side because I always had a very hard time explaining to my kids what a liberal arts career can help you into. So, if you have proficiency in English literature or just communications, so many careers open up, including journalism or poet. My mom is a paralegal right now, and she got into this career almost at the age of, she doesn't want people to know her age, so let's just say she's over 60. And, so it's a pretty cool career. And freelance magazine writers, these are careers that open up just by knowing English very well. Well, I should have moved this slide earlier. Types of engineers, I think what we were just talking about. Still have some more about engineers, about material science engineers. They talk about actually what they do. It's like a marine engineer. You wouldn't know much about these things unless you actually, even my goal is to just tickle you guys a little bit from just screenshot that I found somewhere on the internet and look at these things, what a material science engineer does, what a nanotechnology engineer does. God damn it, I didn't even know what nanotechnology engineers were. So it's pretty cool stuff. History, where can history take you? This is a very important career. Most people discount history, but if you really look at careers in political science or you look at public sector, those people understand history really well. And I saw Shreya over the years really blossoming into this complete person because she was really interested in history. She understood history to its core. She was big into understanding the Holocaust and First World War, and she read amazing books like 1984. Got into just understanding so much about so much simply because history. So I really ask people to look at history and learn more about history because that really builds your character a lot. Some entry-level STEM jobs or careers from science. My apologies, I'm kind of all over the map, going between liberal arts and sciences. But these are some entry-level jobs you will do with math as a statistician, data analyst. So even if you just know math and know it well, your career is set in some ways. You can see how the high-paying jobs are. Petroleum engineers apparently make a lot more money. I didn't know this. Metallurgical, think of it. I mean, where is computer science? Computer science is number 8. So there are people who make way more money than I do. Like number 1, number 2, all these engineers. All things I would call fairly boring. But apparently people make good money in these things. This is what Shreya was talking about earlier, and I tried to zoom at that point, that liberal arts careers, so like Harvard, Stanford, Dartmouth, MIT, not MIT, but look at the Ivies. They're all considered liberal arts schools because they have very strong science and liberal arts programs. Liberal arts meaning economics and history and political science and English and yada, yada, yada. Okay, but holistic, very holistic. Universities, like when you go to, you get into specialized programs. So in Shreya's case, when she comes out with the 4 years, I don't even know what her graduate degree is going to be called. It might be just called Shreya's degree because this girl is taking classes in what is it, neuroscience. She's doing computer science. She's doing political science. She's doing history. She's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But in a liberal arts school, they let you experiment a lot, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because you learn a lot. Bad thing is you might not have all the credits you need to graduate with a particular major, right? You might come up with a triple minor or a double major, which is great too. So don't be scared of them. And I think people just have universities are massive, like 50,000 people universities are like 20,000 kids. Liberal arts schools typically will be like 2,000 kids or 5,000 kids maximum. A classroom will never be more than like 20, 22 kids. Teachers will know you by the name. They'll meet you on weekends to teach you stuff. It's really different. But again, liberal arts schools are expensive. You don't get a whole lot of scholarship in liberal arts schools. So they're small campuses, generally in very small towns. So you won't find them in a big city as such. But think about it. what are the expenses for liberal arts versus universities? It's a little more expensive, I would say. Liberal arts schools, they are. So if you're going to go to a level, even a level two liberal arts school, which is not a tier one school, maybe it's in the top 100 schools, like schools that Shreya got into. Like some of the liberal arts schools gave her great, what am I doing? Great scholarships. So these, which schools are those? Like these schools, Willamette, Puget Sound, these are damn good liberal arts schools. They gave $100,000 scholarship, and the total cost of these schools was, I think, like 220 or something. So she would have gotten in paying less money than even at a UC if she took Willamette or Puget Sound. So these are good schools, and I might show you guys at some point if you have time to show you the list of some schools which are like where the cost of going to schools is, they give you a very good merit scholarship. I can put some of the things up as well for you guys, but that's liberal arts. Question: what's the for the highest paying STEM major? How come there are no majors in the medical field? Yeah, I guess I just found those majors from wherever I could find. So maybe those are there. This probably meant more of engineering related. So I'm not personally, I didn't do much research on that front. So this is really Mashant more on just the engineering side of it. Liberal arts careers, you can see how many people go into what's like a lot of people, 25% of people on liberal arts careers go into business, 20% go into STEM careers. So when people say, oh, liberal arts, you're going to become a teacher, you're going to be humanities based, it's not true. You become very well-rounded and you'll end up taking on different careers, which is very important, I feel. So even my younger one will go to a liberal arts schools. We know that because we've had a great experience with the first one. Payment wise, if you look at liberal arts majors versus people who come out like these, of course, cap salaries are very low salaries, but these are like 2014 salaries. But liberal arts majors make about the same money as CS majors, other majors. So like, no, these are other majors, they are engineering majors. So the career wise, they don't make less money as such. So over time, like initially you see these guys making more money, but these are more rewarding careers, these are more fun careers. So think about that. This was for, I think, careers in English. I found some interesting things, teaching, media, journalism, influencing, PR. A lot of people make a lot of money in become going into PR, public relations, into advertising agencies. Professions like law, banking, accounting, a lot of things get opened up just from English. So, the sky is the limit in a lot of these careers.